So now that the car is running, I am going to get these hood shock strut things replaced. I got to do the rear deck lid shocks as well. They're also bad. I'm going to do a couple of little things, and once I get a little bit more gas in it, I'm going to let it run here for a while, and hopefully I don't have to pull a motor and I can clean it up and make it look pretty at the car wash later. So, I've had a lot of these struts that I've replaced in the past, not these giant ones like this, but hood struts in general cars or deck lids, whatever. These things are really long, but I was really impressed when I grabbed this new one, and it holds me up. I'm 183 pounds, I just recently weighed myself, and this thing holds me up. That is an insanely strong strut. Here is the one that I pulled out of the car. It's pretty much, I mean, it's junk. It does push itself back up pretty easy, but it's not even close to picking me up off the ground. So it's no wonder this thing, this deck lid, was so crappy and would not hold itself up at all. So yeah, that's got to be the strongest strut I have ever done, ever. I mean, I've never seen one that hold me up. That's insane. I'm going to go ahead and put a board on here so I can actually lean against it, see if I can float on the damn thing. Well, minus it kicking out on. But yeah, that's crazy. Really makes a guy wonder, how heavy is this deck lid on this thing? If this thing were to slip when I didn't have those hood shocks, or even one good one on there, I'd be screwed. It'd probably take off my arm if it fell on my arm. Crazy how heavy this thing's got to be. Oh. Wow, even with the one, it's still pretty heavy. There, now it holds itself. That's crazy. So if each one of these takes over 183 pounds to collapse, how much pressure, I mean, sure, given the leverage of things, but either way, how much pressure is being pushed against these damn things from this deck lid is just crazy. Yeah, I'm saving them a lot of trouble. Look what I found. Looky, looky. So they had a stick in here in order to hold this thing up. And yeah, I couldn't imagine going to a car show and having to use this to prop the thing up. How nice would it be to actually be able to have it open easily for once? I bet her father will appreciate that. Look at that. It even supports itself there. That's where it was the heaviest. See if it'll open itself at some point. No, not quite. But it definitely supports itself. No question about that. See if it'll shut eventually. There it goes. Oh, it doesn't even have enough pressure to shut. That's nuts. There we go. Alright. That thing's got to be so heavy. Well, it's time for me to get this thing fired up and running under its own gasoline here. I'm going to let it run for a little while, let it warm up, let it go through some cycling. I will have to open the door. It's probably going to get smoky because last time I ran it, as you've seen, it got really smoky. So I'm going to go ahead and open the door, fire this up, and do a couple things while it's running and keep checking on it. Started easy, didn't stay running, but it started. Oh, now the starter's acting up. Oh, a hunk of yunky yiminy. I'll have to get a starter for this thing pretty quick here. I feel like a couple injectors aren't firing. Yeah, now it's off. Alright, so I don't have the seafoam in it yet. I'm going to put one can in since I didn't get the extra fuel quite yet. Step is to remove the radiator, replace it. I'm going to also do the radiator hoses, the coolant, get it flushed out. Yeah, I got to do that here, and then we'll go to the next step, whatever that is. Before I finish putting this radiator in, I have done the lower hose. I still have to hook the cooler line up, but I'm going after this thermostat. It's the perfect time right now to replace this thermostat. I'm also noticing this hose looks quite old. It doesn't look like it's shot. It feels okay, but it's hooked up to this throttle already, and it's right here. I'm going to see if I can find one today. If I can't, oh well. Otherwise, I do have to pull this throttle out of the way in order to get this off, so let's begin. So I just pulled this thing out, and I should have recorded it. I didn't realize it at the time. I was just going to do a little warm-up, let the cooling system do its thing. I was going to skip the video. But I really should have ran it with the camera on, because under here is an EGR valve. The reason it was running like crap earlier wasn't so much the injectors, maybe a little bit, as it is the EGR valve. It's broken off underneath this intake, and if I push down on it with a screwdriver, it clears up how well it runs. And it runs a lot better. Still not 100%, but a lot better. So I need to pull this intake off and figure out what's going on with that EGR valve. Now I'm in hopes that I can just take it off without taking too much apart, just enough so I can get the EGR. You know, there's a very good possibility this was even the reason for it backfiring out of the intake when I snapped the throttle. Now that I think about it. So yeah, that's probably not supposed to do that. I think that might be part of my problem, huh? I was looking down there at this thing, and I just happened to find one of the screws that holds that EGR valve in. It's broke off. So there's 3 screw holes in here. I'll show you what's
going on here. You got this guy here. You see it's a triangle type thing, and it's got 3 broken off screws that are all underneath here, underneath the gasket. There we go. Alright. So there's somewhere down there, there's 3 broken off screw holes, but yeah, that thing's junk for sure. So that's where my misfire at idle was coming from, because I noticed it ran better up top, and I thought, well, that's odd. I wonder if there's something weird going on with the EGR, and sure enough, EGR has failed. So I need to get this thing blocked off or something at least. I could just block it. This computer might be too stupid to know if it's working or not. I'm not sure. I'm tempted to just block it and try it. It really didn't take that long to take it apart. It wouldn't take very long to make a plate to throw in there. You know, I may just do that. The heck with it. I'm going to get a vacuum in there. There's a lot of debris. Alright, I happened to find a plate in my toolbox that has 4 bolt holes. I don't even remember what it was for. But it was a flat plate. I just bent the tabs up. It's a little bit thin, so I bent the tabs up to cause a little reinforcement type of action. And I'm just going to block this thing off for now so I can get the car running. I'll reuse the old gaskets. And we'll see how it runs then. And at that point, I'll decide whether I'm going to put an EGR in it or not. Made a gasket out of header wrap and some RTV. I guess we'll see how well that holds up. I probably just won't start it till tomorrow. It's at the end of the day anyway today, so get it together, let it sit till tomorrow, and then fire it up tomorrow. Alright, it's the next morning. I am going to fire this thing up. Hopefully I don't need to mess with the throttle. Last time I had to use the throttle to keep it running when it was cold because that EGR was stuck open. So now the EGR is blocked off, in theory I should have no problems. It should run fine. Obviously I'm going to probably end up putting an EGR in it later, but for now, since I have to ship one, I have it blocked off. It was an easy thing to replace or block off, so I'm not too concerned about it. I just want to make sure the motor is running correctly. And with that, I am going to do one last little inspection here, just to verify that I have everything connected. Good thing I checked. I forgot a couple things. Couple vacuum lines on this side, and then the vacuum line for the EGR. I forgot. I got to block that off with something. There, I just threw a drill bit in it for now. Just enough so that I can block it off and see how it runs. Here it goes. Oh, that starter. That damn starter. I gotta get that starter here. ASAPery. In fact, as soon as I'm done doing this, that's the first thing I'm gonna go and order is a damn starter. I didn't order it yet. I was hoping to get some money first from the customer, a little bit more. But that's alright. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna order it anyway. I know she'll come through. I have faith in her. Even though she's a new customer, she seems pretty good. So what I just did is I just hit the solenoid. I could barely reach it with this. Hopefully that's enough. It worked last time. There it is. I haven't touched the throttle. It's still going, so that's a good sign. That significantly helped. That helped a heck of a lot. It's running a lot better at idle now. It still needs some work, obviously. If you were paying attention as I was snapping that throttle, it was like hesitating and falling on its face. So I'm going to be checking timing. I'm going to be doing all kinds of things. But I can't go any further on this episode. This has been too long. I am going to try and shorten it up as much as possible, obviously. You've already seen it, so you know how long it is. And with that said, if this video was useful to you, great. I'm trying a new approach with the music as well. Because this is a 80s car, I'm going to be incorporating rock music. It's a generic rock music, but it's a rock music nonetheless. that I'm going to concentrate on for the videos on this. If you like that and think it's a good idea, please be sure to take the little poll I'll put up here in the corner and let me know, do you like rock music for older vehicles? If so, yes. If not, no, obviously. So with that, please be sure to click on any of the links above. I'll do a best for viewer and the next one for this car when it comes out. Thanks for watching.